G'day mates, it's Doctor here, and today I'm going to provide an emergency ban list that Konami really needs to take into consideration for the state Yu-Gi-Oh is in right now. A quick disclaimer before we jump in: while I'm aware dangers are very popular right now, I've never faced these cards myself, whether it's Danger Lunar Lights, Danger Dark Worlds, or even pure dangers. So I can't really say which danger cards specifically are problematic, but that said, there are still other cards I know of that need to be addressed. So let's begin with the most obvious elephant in the room, Mystic Mine. This might go down as the most hated card of 2019, because there is no denying Mystic Mine is one of the most unhealthiest cards ever released. You can't activate monster effects nor attack with your monsters, which, you know, is the most common method of winning a duel. Everybody hates this card, and the fact it's not a secret rare means Konami wasn't initially relying on Mystic Mine being a big seller. So I believe they can easily ban it, and it's not like people will stop buying Dark Neostorm, especially when this set has some really popular secret rares. Another card that works almost identically to Mystic Mine, but barely anyone talks about, is Rivalry of Warlords. On its own it may not be that bad, but with a Zombie World structure deck, it is absolutely crippling to any deck unless it's a mirror match. The way the combo works is when your opponent activates Zombie World, all monsters on the field become zombie types. Which means if you summon one monster, it will become a zombie. Thus, with Rivalry of Warlords in play, you can't summon other monsters except zombies. This is one of those lockdown cards when played in the right deck, you are almost guaranteed a victor. And some people will say it's not a big deal if it's only at local tournaments, but remember that local tournaments are held far more often than regionals or YCSs. Now, not every card in this list is ban-worthy, so let's talk about some cards that need to be limited, such as Thunder Dragon Colossus. As we know, Thunder Dragons are one of the strongest decks at the moment, and a large reason is because Thunder Dragon Colossus prevents itself from destruction by banishing another Thunder Dragon from the graveyard. All while preventing you from adding cards from the deck to your hand. Now, the card itself isn't too bad, but when you have two Colossus on the field, that can get out of hand, no pun intended. It can take some effort and luck to get rid of one Colossus, but if you still can't add cards from the deck to your hand due to a second Colossus on the field, then this card deserves to be limited. And this is the real purpose of Colossus, to lock down their opponent so it generates a one-sided match that is absolutely insane. Bear in mind, some Thunder Dragon decks run cards like Quiet Life, or Summon Limit, which makes the lockdown even more degenerate. These next two cards I'm going to put together are Limit of Removal and Machine Duplication. These two cards are here primarily for Cyber Dragons and why they should be limited. What happens almost all the time I face a Cyber Dragon player is they summon Cyber Dragon Core, to which its name becomes Cyber Dragon. Then they activate Machine Duplication to summon two original Cyber Dragons from the deck. It is literally cheating the system with Machine Duplication. Then on the same turn they summon Cyber Dragon Infinity and Cyber Dragon Zyger for good measure. Then Limit of Removal comes in, as if Zyger's ability to increase another Cyber Dragon's attack points by 2100 isn't enough, this spell can double that power. While Limit of Removal has the side effect of destroying all monsters affected by this card, it doesn't really matter when more often than not it is an OTK power force. Look, these two cards can work well in other decks, but Cyber Dragon players are abusing the hell out of these two cards, and that is why they rightfully deserve a spot on the ban list. The next card is a tough one, because Red Eye's Darkness Metal Dragon is a huge problem with guard dragons because they can revive this card multiple times and recycle its effect over and over. But then again, all Konami has to do is give this card an errata to turn Darkness Metal's effect from a soft once per turn to a hard once per turn. This is why players need to realize how viable erratas can be, because I don't want to see Darkness Metal banned. Unfortunately, however, the OCG has already put Darkness Metal out of its misery, and the same thing can apply for the TCG. Either rewritten text or entering the forbidden section will be the fate of this card in our current format. The next card that should be limited is You Just Scauldron. I think this card was designed by the same person who made Firewall Dragon, believing there's no way players will summon 8 monsters in one turn to bring out 2 copies of these guys. While 2 copies of YuGiOh isn't anywhere near as bad as having 2 Firewall Dragons on the field, it is still too good for what it does. It's almost the same as using 2 Pot of Dualities or 2 World Legacy Survivors in one turn. The amount of draw power this generates is crazy, and I know plenty of other people also agree, so YuGiOh needs to be limited. It's not ban-worthy, but definitely needs to be limited. And the last card that needs to be addressed is a card that should have been banned a long time ago. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is obesely unhealthy for YuGiOh. It alone creates unhealthy interactions, shuts down decks on the first turn, and encourages players to have many, many searches just to bypass this catastrophe of a card. I already made a video going over the numerous reasons why Ash Blossom needs to be banned, but something I failed to mention in the video is the business side of banning this card. Konami has made their money off this card. There's no denying the popularity of these sets purely for Ash Blossom. But now if Konami wants to promote other hand traps, then banning Ash Blossom is the best financial option. Because why would anyone want to buy other hand traps when Ash Blossom is the strongest one? There is officially no reason to keep this card in the game. The players will be better off without it, Konami will benefit from its banning, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring has lasted way too long and its time needs to come to an end. And that will do for this emergency ban list. There were some other cards I was considering, but I wanted this list to primarily focus on the biggest problematic cards, as the word emergency implies immediate action needs to be taken. But we'll have to wait and see what Konami chooses, and until next time, take care, mates.